Hello, everybody. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 people. I think this class is 20, so that's pretty good. So far, so good. Can I see all your faces real quick? We can turn them off later. I just want to make a little human touch. Oh, there's Janelle. Hey, Janelle. Today's going to be fun, Janelle. You should stick around. Michelle Simmons.
I'm in the class. I didn't want to pay for the credit, so I'm here emotionally.
You go. You go. Okay, Haley, who is this guy? Who is this?
My dog, Race.
Race. Hey, Race. Good boy, Race. Good boy, good girl.
Boy, yeah.
Good boy. Good boy, Race. What do we got for time? 12:31. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's pretty good. 18 out of 20. Why don't we go ahead? So let's start out today. I want to show you your Moodle site, which you probably, hopefully, are checking out on a regular basis here. But I want to show you what's new, what I put up there. Meeting there. Okay, so here's our Moodle site. I keep adding stuff to this section here. This is what we're working on now. So I think I told you this last time, but last time we went over Adobe Premiere, and as you noticed while I was going over it, I'm not that good at it yet. Takes a little bit of practicing to get good at it. But this essential Adobe skills is like a little list of things that I tried to teach you last time. Hopefully you've caught up to it. If not, check that out. Here, tutorial video production on campus. You should look at that. That's also about Adobe Premiere and how to do it and where to do it. This Word file here tells you where you can go get these Adobe programs. All right, so I'll be talking about another Adobe program today, one last Thursday, one today. And then on Thursday, I'll be talking about another Adobe program. So this is a list of the labs on campus where you can actually get access to those. And then here, this last thing, Skillshare. I haven't watched this video yet. I plan to do it tomorrow. Skillshare is a site where people upload their tutorials and then you pay to watch them. So you get a 1 week free, membership. So we can take advantage of this one video, and it will help us with making animations. What this video is about is like first drawing something in Adobe Illustrator, making your little figures and stuff, each of them a separate file, and then importing them into Adobe something else. Premiere, no, not Premiere, another Adobe program anyway, and using them to make an animation to explain something. So that's bingo, that's what we want to do. So some of those other programs I showed you, like Doodly and Toonly, are going to be doing that too. But this is free on campus if you can go to one of those Creative Suite labs and use it. So today I'm going to be talking about giving you a tutorial on Adobe Illustrator, which is basically just for drawing pictures. And I swear to God, I'm going to be a lot better this time than last time. I've been using Adobe Illustrator for like 20 years now, so I know what I'm doing. So that's one piece of the puzzle for Thursday. And then Thursday, we'll be talking about this video as well as talking about that other Adobe program. I forget which one it is. I downloaded it myself recently. Okay, so today, people, will be Adobe Illustrator. Let me stop share for a second. Okay, quick question. I want to draw a picture today, and I want to show you how I do it. What should I draw a picture of? Someone put your hand up and give me an idea. Like some kind of biological thing that you want for your project. Who can I pick on? Everyone's going down. Nick Putney. Putney. Do you know there's a Putney?
Hi.
You know there's a Putney?
Yeah.
Named after your relatives, or
I don't think so.
I know you don't know. I just teasing you. So what is your section on your chapter section?
Honestly, I don't remember. Something to do with replication.
Something to do with replication. Ooh, replication is a DNA thing. Let's pull up
Yeah.
so okay. So here's the thing. Say you want to do an animation on replication, which honestly you really don't have to. There's tons of them out there. But let's say that's what we wanted to do. What's your first step? I'm sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
It's DNA structure and replication, by the way.
DNA structure and replication, right? So let's talk about DNA replication. First thing I want to do is get an image in my mind of what I want it to look like. What should the DNA look like? What should the enzymes look like? Get a general idea of how I want to draw this. And usually the best way, the way I do it, which is not really cheating, but it can seem like cheating. I just lost everybody. Where'd you go? Okay. One way I do this is to just do a Google search. Google knows everything. Okay, so Google it. I'm going to say DNA replication. Why not? DNA replication. I don't even have to spell it. So what's the first step? See, all the animations are out there. You don't need to do this one, but let's say you were doing it anyway. Let's say initiation for the first step. All right, so I'm going to go to Google Images and see what other people have done. Here's one, tad on the boring side. The nice thing about this picture is you don't have to draw the individual bases in. It's kind of like step back a little bit. That might make it easier to draw. Let's do, ooh, look at this one. Ooh, I like this one. This is complicated. So I can imagine now, if I was going to do an animation of this, I would want to draw each of these little blue balls separately, a big piece of DNA, and then all of these things separately. And then I could animate each one of those to like come in and converge on the template and make it open up, okay? So we're not doing animation now, we're just going to be drawing the picture, but I wanna show you how to use this program because it's friggin' awesome and it's really easy to draw things with it. So let's copy this image. And again, this is, I mean, if I copy this image and use it on my own, it's basically plagiarism. If I copy it, use it in attribution, it's not plagiarism. If I copy it and then redraw it and change it in some way so that it's different from what was originally there, that's not plagiarism because I put some creative effort into it. So that's what we're working for here. We're going to use theirs as a model, but we're going to make our own. So I'm going to do a new share. And here is Adobe Illustrator. So Adobe Illustrator, when you open it up, you've got tools over here on the right for drawing. I don't use many of them. I only use a couple of them. Over here is just different ways of changing what you've drawn already. Okay, so first thing I like to do is give myself a box. So like it's not expanding into the world. I'm gonna like focus myself on how big I want my image to be in the end. So I'm gonna take a box and draw it. Okay, so I want my final image to look like that. Now, when I'm drawing, I don't want to accidentally select this box and move it around. So I want to lock it down so it doesn't go anywhere. So with the box selected, I'll come up to Object, Lock, Selection, there. So now when I use my selection tool, I can't grab it anymore. It's not going to move on me. All right, I'm going to zoom in on this so that the box is filling my screen and I can see it better. So the way you zoom, is there a zoom here? There's your magnifying glass. It's easier to learn get your left hand moving over here. Control space, hit control, does nothing. Hit space, you get the magnifying glass, and alt will be for demagnification. So just control space bar, and I can zoom in. And then just spacebar gives you the hand thing, which sometimes allows you to move it, sometimes doesn't, depends on your magnification level. Okay, so this is where I'm going to draw my thing. Now I want to take the picture I just copied and put it in this so I can copy over it. So just going to say Control V. Oh my God, it's way too big. All right, so let me zoom out again so you can see that. So it's way bigger than the size I wanted it to be. So I'm going to take this tool here, the scale tool, double click. And let's say we'll take it down to 50% as big as it is in it right now. Boom, now it fits in. And just to make it perfect size, I'm taking this selection tool. I'm gonna put it down in this corner. I'm gonna hold down Shift and grab this corner. If you hold down Shift, it'll remain the same proportion as it gets bigger. If you just grab the corner, then you can change, let me show you that. So if I just grab the corner, click and drag, I can change it and change the scale and everything, and it looks really weird. I don't want to do that. I want to grab the corner, hold down Shift, and it will, oh, I didn't hold down Shift, sorry. Grab the corner, Shift, and now it's staying in the correct proportions. There, okay. All right, so now I'm going to start to redraw this. I'm going to lock this thing down too, because I don't want it moving around when I'm drawing on it. Off the selection. All right, let's start with an easy one. We'll copy this, MCM10. Now, we don't have to make them the same shape, right? As long as we know there's an MCM10 and later in animation we can move it around, it doesn't have to be the same shape. I'm going to copy the same shape just so you can see how to copy things. This is an oval, so I'm going to use my oval tool. Oh, by the way, here's something else really cool about Adobe Illustrator that I learned. So this is all visual stuff, right? So you can have words coming at you from the other side and it doesn't bother you when you're drawing. So what I like to do is bring up a podcast or a comedian doing stand-up. So I'm listening to stand-up while I'm drawing and it doesn't interfere with me. That's neither here nor there. Okay, so here's my circle tool. I can draw a circle of any shape or size with this. What I want to do though, and if I hold down Shift, you'll get a perfect circle. If you release Shift, you can go any size or shape. So I want to do the different size than a perfect circle. I'm just going to match this there. And now you look over here, my circle has got a white inside and no line around it. I want to change that. I want to put black on the outside. Oops, not white, black. So it's got a black line, and the inside I'm going to make, stop, go away. The inside I'm going to make empty, okay? Oops, empty, okay. So now I just have the outline. So I'm going to put the outline over it. So I'm trying to copy it exactly and make sure it fits. Good, it fits. All right. So now I want to take that. If I want to color it exactly the same, all I have to do is double click here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. What I have to do is this. There's your eyedropper, right? So I'm going to grab my eyedropper and say, match that color. And it'll match the color. And then it changed my stroke back to blank, which it will do. So I'm going to change my stroke into something like this. This is like the same color, but darker. So there. So there's my copy of that. All right, so like I say, you can't really do the exact same thing and say it's your work, but you can change it and then make it your work. So what I want to do is try to make these things look more three-dimensional. This is kind of, two-dimensional is kind of boring. So I'm zooming in on this. And now I'm going to make this three-dimensional by giving it a gradient mesh. Here's our gradient mesh tool. So click on that. And now I'm going to put a dot here and a dot here. Okay. So what that does, first of all, we lost our outline. I can get us a new outline if you want, but we'll just leave it off. So now imagine you're looking at this, it's a three-dimensional object and it's coming towards you. So what's towards you is lighter, what's further away is darker. So what we can do now is just select only certain anchor points. So I'm going to take, or even just one panel. I'm going to select the middle panel, and then I'm going to change its color. Okay, so let's make it same color but lighter, like this. Okay, so that's made that panel lighter and like graded it out towards the edges, so it looks a little more 3D. I want to focus that light. You can see these individual points have got handles on them that you can pull. So if I pull that handle, it will bring the light closer to the center to make that center stand out more. And maybe we want to draw it all the way to the center like this. Oops. Even do something like this, and that makes it look really weird. Okay. Okay, so there's our first thing, and now it's a little different from the one that was there because it's three-dimensional. We can give it a name too if you want. Let's do a little texting here now. So I'm going to take my text tool and give myself a word. So I'm going to call it MCM10. MCM10. Oops. Okay, so I want MCM10 to fit on there. It's way too big. So I'm going to come down to 8-point type. And there's our three-dimensional MCM. So that will be one element of our project to come. I'm going to group these together, just Control G. And now that's one object. I can move it anywhere I want. Okay, one down. Let's do this one. Okay, so I'm going to again get my ovalish tool. Give me an oval. And fill the center with the same color. And I'm going to mesh it. Boom. Boom. Oops. Yeah. So now I'll grab that middle panel and change its color. I guess we're in the purple range now, right? Purple, 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 red. Let's go here and make it lighter. So it's a lighter purple. Okay, and there's our three-dimensional object. Okay, so GINS, whatever the hell GINS is got, looks like it's a heterotetramer. And they're a little bit twisted maybe. All right, so let's monkey around with this guy and see what we can do. First, let me just turn it a little bit because theirs look turned. And now let's make 3 more of them. You can go copy and paste and get another one. You can go copy and then shift paste and get another one right on top of the last one. That's something I do a lot. Or you can just hold with your selection tool, hold down Alt. Come on, baby. Alt. Why is Alt not working? Okay, when you hold down Alt, you get that kind of double selection arrow thing there. Drag it, now I've got another one, and another one. There. So now I've got 3 of them, 4 of them, and they're piled on top of each other. So it looks similar to theirs, but it's three-dimensional, looks a little cooler. You can group them all together, and that's our GINS. Control G, and that's grouped. Now, how are we going to put a name across the top of this? I guess we can do the same thing. Just take T, G-I-N-S. Lay it across the top. Doesn't really stand out because it's black. Let's make it white. So again, just going with your fill tool, select white. And now the word is white, and maybe that's a little better. Let's group that with the rest of them, and there's one thing we can grab, Control G. Okay, so you can see how easy this is. Once you make one, you can just copy it and make several. Okay, we can do the same thing with these guys up here. Let me do one of these. Once you get rolling, it gets easier and easier. Actually resize without going to that resize tool, just by grabbing the corners with that direct selection tool. All right, let's fill it with this color. Give us a mesh, just 2 dots. Click the middle panel. This is kind of a cyanish color. Give me a light cyan. And there's your 3 dimensions. Now I'm going to make these. So again, direct selection, click on it. Oops, didn't want to do that. Select it, Alt, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look like beautiful little robin's eggs. Okay, now that we've got that, do some more complicated stuff. Okay, so you can see these things are kind of 3-dimensionally arranged so they go around the template. If I just do this, they're all on top of the template. That's not what we want. So we need to get a little more artificial 3-dimensionality here. Let me back up a tad. Let's make this DNA. Oops. Let's make this DNA strand. All right, I'm going to take my straight line tool. If I want a straight line, I always go with Mr. Straight Line because he gets me that. So if I hold down, now I can just draw a line in any direction I want with this thing. Let's give us a color first. Make it black. Okay, so now I can draw a line in any direction, okay? But I want it to be perfectly straight, so I'm going to hold down Shift. So Shift and then drag. It's either going to go 45 degrees or it's locked into 45s basically. So I'm just going to drag it across. And there's that. Now it looks a little thick. My line looks thick compared to theirs. So I'm going to make my line thinner by going to stroke. Oops. Come on, you. Go to stroke. I'm going to come down to 0.75, 0.5. That looks about right. So I'm going to be at 0.5. Now I want to make my second line, and I want my second line to be exactly like the first line, except a little bit further down. So what I'm going to do is just copy it, Control C. Now I'm going to say Control Shift V, and we'll paste the new one right on top of the old one. And oops. Then I move it down into place there. Now, here's the crazy thing. Now we want to do these little ladder rungs here, again with my line tool. I could spend, oops, Shift. I could spend the rest of my day doing this, right? Drawing one after another all the way down. Or, watch this, I'm going to take this one, Shift, Alt, come on you. Where's my Alt? Okay, see that? Now I've got my duplicate thing. I'm going to drag it over, put it here. And now all I have to do is say Control D, and it'll duplicate that move and make more of these. So Control D, all the way across. And they're falling out of order, and that's fine. It doesn't really matter. We'll fix that later. Give us a whole bunch of rungs going across. Control D. You can sing to yourself too. That's part of the process. Okay. All right. So they're not lined up right, right? Because the first one I did was slightly off, so all the rest of them then get further and further off. So what do? I'm going to select them all. And then I need to deselect the long lines. I don't want those. Okay, let's get these long lines here. I'm gonna get them out. Okay, so I'm gonna take these two long lines and I'm gonna say Control X. Let's just get them out of the way, but still have them. So I'm gonna say Control X. Now they're gone. Now I'll take all of these guys and say, line up their tops. Boom, now they're all lined up. And now I'm going to say Control Shift V, and those things that I cut will show up right where they were before. Control Shift V, boom. Okay, there's our DNA. And oops, these guys moved on me. I must have grabbed them by accident. Okay, so now what we want to do is put these guys back on that template with the ones on this side in front and the ones on that side behind. So bring this guy over. So a thing that you don't really notice when you're drawing is the program puts things in layers. Oops. The program puts things in layers. So you draw something, then you draw something else that's on top, you draw something else that's on top, and on top, and on top, and on top. So when you're looking at it, you're looking at all these things piled up together. Now, if I want to get these guys on top of this template, okay, I drew the template second, so to get them on top, I need to pull them forward. So I'm going to take this one and pull it all the way to the front. Let's see, how do I do that? There, object, I don't even know anymore how to do this. Arrange, pull to front, okay? But again, when you're doing it for a while, you want to use your left hand as much as possible. So Shift Control bracket will bring it up to the front. That's what I'm going to do. So that one's in front of the template. Let's bring this one up to the front template. Control Shift 2. And now this one needs to be in front of those things. Control Shift bracket. There. Okay. So now I've got my balls going around that template. I need a whole nother set of balls. We should call them something other than balls because it's getting really weird here. Let's call them spheres. A whole bunch of spheres. And I want to put them over here where this one is. So I'm going to say just copy, Control Shift V. I got a new set right on top of that set, and now move it over. There. And again, I want these to be underneath the current the template. So I'm going to go Control Other bracket. Let me show you up here. Object. Arrange, send it backwards. So it's the other bracket, the open bracket side there. So again, you've got all these layers and you have to get back until it's in the layer you want. So I'm going to keep doing that. Control, open bracket, sending it back until it gets on top or underneath, I mean. Or I can go Control Shift bracket and now it's behind our template and bring it forward a couple till it's up on top of it. So this thing that we're copying here is an image too. So if I go Control Shift open bracket, it goes behind that, and then I bring it forward until it's on top of it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm going to do it until it makes me happy. Come on forward, buddy. Come on, come on. Control Shift. There. Oops, no, sorry. Oh, I see. Okay, so let's see what we have here now. In order to see what we're working with here, let's get rid of the thing we're copying and see what we've actually done. So I'm going to go up to Object and unlock all. I'm going to choose the thing that we're copying and cut it. Okay, so there's what we've done so far. We've got our spheres going around the template, right? Like these are proteins that are reading the sequence and grabbing onto the template. I'm just going to undo and bring that back up. Okay, so that's some pretty easy drawing to do. Let's do something a little more complicated. Let's go back. Let's share something different. New share. Let's get a complicated shape to make because that's pretty cool. DNA replication, DNA polymerase 1. Ooh, look at this. What do we got going here? Let's find something cool we can copy. This is kind of cool. Let's take this. Copy. I'm going to zoom out, bring this guy in. All right, so I want to copy this. Now you can see this isn't just a simple sphere. It's a little more complicated. So we're going to use our pen tool for that. Let me show you how we do this. File, nope. First I'm going to lock it down. Lock my selection. And now I'm going to try and copy this guy here. Lock this down too. Here's our pen tool. All right, let's do some pen tool tutorial stuff here. Pen tool is your best friend because you can draw anything with the pen tool. The thing about this tool is you're basically putting down points, and each point will have two handles that you can kind of change the way the line reflects through that point. So it's kind of like string art. You know, you put a bunch of points down and then you bring a string through it. So if I just put a single point, that will be a straight anchor. So I can do this. I'm just clicking, and when I come around to the end, it closes itself up. And those are all very sharp points. Or I could click and drag, and that will give me a rounded point. Okay, so now we've got, you know, straight corners. Oops, do that. You've got straight corners or you've got round corners. And now you can change this any way you want. I'm going to tell you the difference here between these two selection tools. This black selection tool will take the whole thing, and the white selection tool will allow you to change individual anchor points. Hang on, going out? Okay, so I can take this corner and move it in. Right, and now I've got this kind of shape, easy enough. This guy, I can take any of these points and change the way the line goes through them. I can also take these points like this, come over to our pen tool, get the anchor point tool, and convert it from one type to another. So I've converted it from a straight thing to a round corner, from a straight corner to a round corner. I can also, with this tool, if I grab the handle and hold down Alt, I can separate those two handles, and that'll change the way it goes through there. See, now I'm getting more of a rocket shape kind of look to it. Okay, so that's in general how you use these. And then once you've got your shape, you can give it a color over here. Let's fill it with a pretty cyan. Okay, and then we can mesh that later if we wanted to. All right, let's just delete these, and I'll show you how now I can copy the thing that I've already done over here. This guy. Let's make one of these. Now, when you're using your pen tool, one of the keys I find is use as few points as possible. You put a lot of points in it, it gets more complicated, it gets harder to make some really smooth shapes. But, okay, I can see I'm going to need a point here. Oops, don't do that, sorry. I'm going to make a rounded point here, rounded point here. Now, I want to go to empty fill, so I'm only looking at the outline now. I'm going to put another one here. All these inflection points are going to get a point. So I'm not like putting a point everywhere, just in a lot of places. Just kind of where that shape changes, you're going to want an inflection point for it. Okay, so up top here, start here. Now I'm only looking at the outline, so it's easy to see what's underneath here. I can manipulate this until it fits perfectly in that outline. Let's do this one too. Okay, so when I was doing this, I noticed something about this shape. Notice how this like comes into kind of a point and comes back out. That's where we're going to want to make that rounded point into a two-handled point. So here's where the point is. Now there's no way to make it look like that by just moving these handles around. Okay, so what I need to do is separate those two handles with my anchor point tool. So I'm going to grab it, hold down Alt, and do this. I'll give it one of these. Okay, that comes up there. Now you can see how it reflects through that point with a sharp corner, but you still have the curve at either side. This can come down. All right, now I want to do the same thing here. Give me this thing here, bring it around. There. This guy can stay around, but it's in the wrong place. Now this guy's going to need one of those two-handled points too. Take my tool, bring it up this way. Okay. So this is something that takes a little bit of time to become intuitive, but after you've done it a bit, you can get really good at copying things like that. So this is going to be our RNA polymerase or DNA polymerase. Now I don't need this background image anymore, so let's just get rid of that. Object, unlock all, delete it, and there's the shape I made. Let's relock this and this. Them down. Okay. Now, this is going to be our RNA polymerase. Let me see if I can change it a little bit, make it a little bit cooler, a bit stiff. I like a nice mouth on an enzyme. I'm not worried about it. It's just what I like. Okay. Let's make this our enzyme. Now, if you want to, too, if you think, oh, that's too rough, I can't do a nice smooth curve, you can click on it and you can smooth it. Shape, path, join average outline, simplify, divide, pattern, blend. I don't know, there's a bunch of stuff you can do over here, but if it looks really, really rough, you can say, smooth my shape, and it'll smooth it for you. All right, but let's just give it a color. Bailey. What color is DNA polymerase 1?
Are you asking me to just pick a color?
Unless you know what color it actually is, you should probably make a color up.
Yellow.
Yellow. Yellow, yellow. Bailey likes it yellow. Okay, so Here's our fill colors, and you can do any color in the world. If you're good at colors, you're good at colors. Let's go to yellow. Let's make it a little bit, and here, when you're doing your color, like if you come across this way, it's like more or less yellow. And if you go from top to bottom, they start adding black to it. So if you come down here, you'll get more of a darkish looking thing. Here's kind of slatey. You want a pure yellow though, but kind of on the light side. I want like that. How's that? Does that look like DNA polymerase? Yes, thank you. I live for the thumbs up sign. Okay, let's make this three-dimensional too. Now, when you've got a weird shape, the mesh doesn't work quite as well. It's a little bit weird. Well, let's see what we get. Ooh, look at that curvy thing. Okay, that's not so bad. So now we'll click on this and go back to our yellow. Cancel. Let me show you how you make it exactly perfect though. Give me another shape. And now let's see, what is that yellow? Here's the number code for what that color is. I'm going to copy that because I want my gradient to be the exact same color but a different shade of that color. So I'm going to click on this. And I'm going to put that over here. Enter. And now I'm going to make it lighter, maybe a little grayer. Ooh, that doesn't look so good. Looks okay, I guess. Oops, don't do that. What would happen if we made it darker? Let's try this. What's it gonna look like if I do this? Oh, that's cool too, isn't it? Let's go with that. Okay, so that's our RNA polymerase. Okay, so what else do we want to know? So basically what I've shown you here is how to draw simple spheres and change their shape, and how to do the three-dimension thing by bringing up and down layers, how to duplicate things, and that saves you a lot of time. Draw it once, duplicate it over and over again. How to do lettering, change the color of the lettering. What else would you need? This is kind of cool too. If you're doing a static figure and you wanted an arrow, arrows are really easy. I'm going to take my line tool, give me a line, and go to stroke. Let's bring it up to about 2 points so it's nice and thick. And over here, I'm just going to put an arrowhead on it. Number 3 is my favorite arrowhead. Boom. Now that's way too big though. So let's make that arrowhead smaller. That's a little more reasonable. Okay, so let's unlock. Take out the copied one. And now here's what we've made. Let's see, is this, oops, let's lock that thing down again. Can I move this? Nope. Oops, undo. All right. Let's take these guys. Oops. Select these balls and these balls. Copy them, group them. Nope, I don't want to group them, I'm sorry. When I grouped them, I lost my three-dimensionalness of them. Okay, let's group this. Oops. Group and copy. Give myself another one here. Oh, here's something we can do. This could be fun. So in the next part of that figure, this template opens, right? It goes from a closed template to, a replication bubble with 2 replication forks. So let's do that. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? Oh yeah. All right, so let's take this guy, put it over here, and then I'm going to copy and shift paste to get another one on top of it. And this one I'm going to move over here. Okay, so now I'm going to draw a replication bubble between these two. Is this still open? Let's just do it. View out of my way. Okay, we're going back to Mr. Pen Tool. And what I want to do is draw like a half circle up here so you've got an open template. So I'm going to start by clicking on my anchor, and that's going to allow me to start another line right on top of that line. Use that, come across, and the same thing here. Oop. All right, I made a mistake there. Oops, undo. I can just delete this. Delete. Okay, oops, undo. All right, so the mistake I made was I'm trying to connect this to this, but they're in separate groups. So I'm going to ungroup them. Control Shift G. Control Shift G. Okay, so now they're no longer grouped. I will take my pen tool, come up this way, this way, not this way. Okay, so now I want to make this into a replication bubble. Some nice circle there. Okay, there's half a replication bubble. Now I can just grab this guy and this guy. So that's like the line from one point to the middle and then from the middle to the other point. I'm going to take them and I'm going to flip them over so I can have the exact same shape on the other side. So I'm going to go to a new tool here. You could do the rotate. I would prefer the reflect. Double click on reflect. And now I'm going to see what it looks like. Ooh, that's weird. That's not what I want. Okay, cancel. Let's just copy it and paste it. Okay, so there's that. Now I can reflect it. Okay. And I can just match it up. Oops, undo. I can just match it up, or I can join them. Let's join them so they're one line again. So here we've got anchor point from that line, anchor point from this line. Let's just grab them both. I'm going to go Control J. Now it's one line again. And we've got an extra anchor point here. Let's get rid of it. Okay. Join these, Control J, and get rid of that extra anchor point. There's our replication bubble. We've gone outside the line that we wanted to do, so let's unlock. Let's make it bigger. Oops. Tool. Okay. We've gone outside the box here too, but I think I'm just going to see if I can do this. Nope. I think I'm just going to cut it shorter. Okay, two things you can do to get rid of this. One, what I'm going to do is select this long line and get my scissor tool, and I'll just click here and then select this line and click here. So your scissor tool then took this one long line and put new paths in there. Oops. So you can delete those paths. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of all this crap that made it outside the line that I don't want anymore. Okay, there's our replication bubble. Let's see how DNA polymerase fits in there. A little too big. He's up there, Mr. Polymerase. There. And you can see because of the layering that this line goes on top and that other line goes underneath. That gives it kind of a 3D look. That's kind of cool. What else do we need? Let's get some single strand binding proteins here. And these, oops. I'm going to pretend these guys are single strand binding proteins. And I will drag them down to here. Oh, copy B. Now I want to line these up along this to protect that single strand. Okay, here's a neat aspect to this flip thing. We flip them vertical. Now they're the same, and I can hit copy. Copy. And now I've got 3 more, but they're going the other way. Save me time. And now I can put the same things on the bottom by doing the same trick in the horizontal way. Take them all. Horizontal, copy. There, now I've got single strand binding proteins all over that single strand. Okay, I'm going to stop share for a moment, see if anybody's still watching. Are you guys still there? Okay, let me see your faces again. Rocky Raccoon. Okay, how many people are following this and understanding? Most of you. How many people find it interesting? Nobody. Oh, okay, couple people. So what I'm trying to show you here is basically in the next class we'll talk about how to make animations. So the way you want to make an animation, at least the way I've always done it, draw your static picture, get all your characters in there, and then save each of those characters individually as PNG files or GIF files or something like that. And then you'll import those individual files into your animation. So let me show you that little piece of it, and then we can call it a day. Let me share. Okay, so if we wanted to make an animation of this, we could like have these balls all over here and have them slowly come over and then accumulate around that point. Now all these balls are the same, so we really only need one of them saved as a GIF file. We can copy that one into our next program. So here's how we do all of this stuff. Let's unlock everything. We're not going to need this bad boy anymore. We are going to want, so this is the way I do, this is the way the insiders do it. I'm going to select everything except for one piece. Let's leave this out. And I'm going to go Control X. Now this guy, I'm going to save as a file so that I can pull it into my animation later. So File, Export, Export As. Drive, communicating, give myself a new folder here. Folder should be animation pieces. You know I didn't spell it right. That's okay. Okay, so I'm going to call this, what's it called again? M something M10. So let's go MDM10, let's call it. Now it's going to ask me how I want it saved. Mostly I do GIFs, pings, PNG, and you can determine your resolution and such. Okay, so now I've got that saved as a little file. I can pull it into my animation program. Don't need it anymore. Now I'm going to go Control-Shift-V. Everything comes back out again. This is what I want to save next. So I'm going to Control-X. Oops, sorry. Going to deselect that and then go Control X, pull everything out. This guy I'm going to save. Export as a ping. And I've forgotten what it's called already. So let's just call it ping2. I don't remember. Export, export. Delete, Control Shift V. Everything goes back out again. Let's save one of these. And again, we only need one because it's the same shape over and over again. So let's deselect one of them. Control X. This guy I'm going to export. Blue ball. Don't laugh, Quinones. It's blue ball. Okay. Delete, Control Shift V. All right, we don't need any of these. Nobody needs blue balls. Let's get rid of these. Now let's save the small template. We'll call it small template. Control X, get rid of everything else. This, then we will save as file, export as small DNA. Okay, get rid of that. Control Shift V, everything else comes back. Pull this guy out of the way. Let's get rid of these things, delete them. Okay, so now I'm going to save the DNA polymerase, cut everything else, file, export, DNA polymerase. File, export as replication. F-35s are going over. They're loud. Okay, after the F-35s have stopped saving Vermont from the enemy, I'll explain what we do next. Okay. There go the F-35s. Okay, share. I will show you what I have accomplished up to now. Okay, so what we've done is we have this new folder here of animation pieces. These are all little tiny files with those pictures in it that you've drawn. Now in the next class, when we do an animation, we'll import those from this file into the animation file, and we can do we can make an animation with them. Okay, is everybody having fun now? This is yes, this is no. Well, that's about all I have for today. I'm hoping you learned something from this. I don't know. I guess the reason I did this is because I'm telling you all to go out there and draw these animations, and who knows if you know how to do it. So this is Adobe Illustrator is a really nice program for drawing little tiny pictures, making them look cool, and then you can save them individually as pings or GIFs or something, and bring them into your animation. Okay, everybody happy? This is yes. Rocky, are you happy? Give me There we go. There we go. Okay. As long as Rocky's happy. All right. Well, I'm going to call it a day. Okay.
I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
So would you be willing for the due dates for the assignments to put them on Moodle, like as like a Dropbox or something? Because that way they automatically kind of show up for us.
Can you say that again? I've never done it before, but I will.
I don't know how to do it either, but
Okay.
like
You put it up
So-
the Dropbox, and then the Dropbox tells you when it's due.
so like yeah, you put like a Dropbox for the assignment, and you say it's
Okay.
due September 3rd.
Okay. Okay.
That
I'll
just
work
makes it
on that.
easier because then we can kind of glance and look at all.
Then
of
you can
the-
see it. Right. Okay. I'll do that today. I'll figure out how to do it, and I'll get that up. But
Okay.
before I go, remember you need to by Thursday before class. You need to get one of these up. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, come on, man. Show all windows. Of course, show all windows. Remember this? I talked about this in last class. So there's the sample version of the PowerPoint where I want you to put all your animations into. This is my sample from my book. So have this done for me. I see most of you, you've all done your outline. Most of you have already got links in your outline, which is fabulous. Now take those links, make little thumbnails out of it using your screen grab, and then put them into a PowerPoint. And that is due on Thursday. Okay, Thursday before 10 o'clock. But hopefully today I'll figure out what Nick's talking about, and I'll get that up in your Moodle so you can see exactly where to drop it. Okay? Everybody happy? Say goodbye.
That's all you want us to do for Thursday?
Yeah, for Thursday. It shouldn't take that long, hopefully. If you've already got your outline and your links, just put them together into that PowerPoint format, and that's it. Okay?
All right, sounds good.
And then Thursday, hopefully, we'll start working with an animation program so you can see how that works. And then next week, I don't know, whatever you want to do. All right. Talk to you later, guys.